Hello there, welcome to a new episode of the Bavarian Basstalk. And I'm using that opportunity of the convention of the International Society of Bassists to have a talk with Owen Lee. Welcome, Owen.
Thanks, Klaus.
I am fortunate and happy to have a concert with him here, and we play some of my arrangements and a special arrangement of you. What is it?
Well, it's an arrangement that I and my summer student Jose Saavedra had made of Motorhead's Ace of Spades.
The Ace of Spades.
Yeah.
But in your daily life, you are principal bass for
Cincinnati Symphony.
So the connection with Motorhead, where is this?
Well, because I've been a metalhead since I was about 13 years old.
And this is something that I also followed up on Facebook and on social media, because it's the first time we met in person here. But I know Owen Lee already pretty long. He was one of my first bass heroes. Like when I started to play double bass, I started pretty late. I was 22, and maybe a year or two ago, or after that, I found the magazine Double Bass. There was a big article about you inside, and it was pretty impressive. Do you still remember that?
Yeah. Was it the one talking about the Harbison Bass Concerto, or something else? Because there was one in the the Bassist magazine where I talked about the Harbison Bass Concerto.
Yeah. It must have been around maybe 97.
Yeah,
98, something like that.
When I first got the job in Cincinnati, they might have had something in there about it.
And that's what is my first memory about you, and that's super cool. We can play together here now. And what was your entry to the bass world? You're original American, or
I was born in America, but my parents are from China.
So you learned and studied in America?
Oh yeah. I was born in America and grew up in America. So,
how was that? Like you someone told you play bass, or it was you?
Well, my parents like they required us when we were little to take piano. It was just a lot of Asian parents do that. They make their kids study piano, and I didn't like it at the time. But when I wanted to do music for myself, to this day I'm thankful they made me do that, even though at the time I didn't want to do it. Yeah, but then like most American teenagers, I got really into like rock music. Like in my early teenage years, and so I wanted to play bass guitar. So my dad bought me a bass guitar and a tiny little amp, and I started jamming out in my bedroom to Iron Maiden and Motorhead.
Like me?
Yeah. And so that was my first entry to the bass, and then later I was friends with all the quote unquote smart kids at school. So like all the smart kids would usually be in orchestra, but I didn't play any instrument in orchestra. So they would get to go on these cool trips, and play concerts and stuff. And I would be, all my friends are gone. I'd be like alone at school. All my friends are gone. So I would hang around my friends with them in the orchestra rehearsal room, and the orchestra teacher said, "Oh, I haven't seen you around here. Do you play an instrument?" It's like I play piano and bass guitar. It's like, well, we always need double bass players, so would you be interested? And that was my entry at age 15.
Age 15.
Yeah.
And then how did you go on? Like it was directly perfect.
And then that was my first time playing in a symphony orchestra was when I was 15, and I just loved it so much that, okay, I want to try to do this for a living. So I auditioned. So 2 years later, when I was auditioning I auditioned for music school, see if I would get in, and I got in, and I was like, okay, I think I can pursue this. And so I went to music school at USC and just took it from there. Yeah.
And have you performed in Germany?
Yes. Yes, several times. In Munich at the Gesteig, and also another time we performed at the Hercules Hall.
Very close to the Bavarian Bassdays.
Right on, I bet.
That happened very close to Munich. And this year is the 2023, is the 10th edition. And next year follows the 11th. And I hope you will be there one day.
I hope so.
To teach and to perform together again, and of course to have a little bit Bavarian bass beer together, and also to see and experience like the very young bass players. That is a very important part of my work with the Minibasses. Have you heard about this and seen about this?
A little bit.
Yeah. What do you think about this early education? Do you think it's good,
of course it's good. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter what the instrument is. I mean, I think like exposing kids to music. I mean, it's fun, and they never know where they end up with it. Like I said, my parents made me play piano. I didn't like it at the time, but then looking back, I'm really glad I did it. It's really great because I wanted to do music, and it became a foundation of everything I've done since. It was just developing an ear, developing, like dexterity and coordination and everything.
And do you have maybe any advice to young bass players? I know it's a little bit a difficult question.
I think
nowadays, like that social media is so strong and all the influences from outside. I mean, comparing this some years ago when you did not have this, and I think you also did not have that in the beginning when you started. So you had to listen to records more and transcribe and all the things.
I think
is this still useful for auditions? Because I think you hear auditions many times in your orchestra. What is the fact at the moment that you think that gets you the shot?
Good question. I think develop your ear. Develop your develop your ear, develop your voice.
That's a very good point.
Like your musical statement, like as far as like orchestra auditions, like make sure your fundamentals are there. Make sure you have wonderful intonation, wonderful rhythm, beautiful sound, great, like just musical. If you're taking an orchestra audition in your orchestra excerpts, like honor what's on the page. Show what is on the page.
So singing and listening is a very important part. And like with the Minibasses, with everybody, I start with singing, even though you sometimes think, they don't want to sing. They
have
do.
to. I'm making my students
5 years old, and
making
what
my
you
students
see
sing all the time.
after the time when they really do it, like they sing and play like it's nothing. And that develops not only the ear but also the rhythmical senses. And how to get everything together.
I always tell my students, like music's up here. It's not out here. It's up here. It's in your ear. Develop your ear. And if I have any specific advice for like young children, it's like enjoy it. I mean, never forget that music is fun. And even for bass players out there, like just slogging it out, like taking audition after audition, trying to get a job. Don't forget, music's supposed to be fun. You're playing this really hard music by Mozart or Beethoven. Don't forget, it's supposed to be fun.
And also, like what I experienced here with the young bass program, is like they did so well, and that music is always something good to others. I mean, if it's not that, then it's useless. It must be always something to transport, something good for anyone else.
I couldn't agree more.
To yourself maybe, but also to anyone else. So, Owen, thank you so much for that talk.
Anytime, brother.
Wonderful to meet you again.
Likewise.
And hope to see you at the Bavarian Bassdays.
I hope so too.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.